Sunday show. Happy Father's Day. Yeah, Rafael Devers got traded, and thank God Chris Connor's not on the show right now. Thank God. Smash the like button. Let's go.
First took away. That's for this. Get your money's worth now.
Presented by the Scott Vicknair Injury Law Firm. You've been hurt in any kind of accident, car, truck, 18-wheeler, or hurt offshore. Scott Vicknair handles it all. Give him a call at 504-500-1111 for a free consultation. They always fight for the win. Is always powered by 40 Energy. Shout out Blue Moon, Theo's, Standard Mortgage, Chris Smith, Homes, John Deere, Sunshine, as always. Yeah, shout out to here we gotta get. Wait, trying to get Grub back.
What's a little lag happening?
We're good. Good. Am I lagging, Lito, or you're lagging?
No, I don't know. It was like the screen was just kind of.
Screen was just okay. Yeah. So let's get right into it. So morning kind of start off with a big trade between the Magic and the Grizzlies, and we're going to talk about that first because I think, and Chaz has been talking about it too. Like this kind of sets the tone for the offseason and kind of a shocking trade. So the Grizzlies, and what I mean shocking is what was traded, right? So the Grizzlies trade Desmond Bane to Orlando. Orlando gives up KCP, Cole Anthony, and 4 unprotected first-round picks and 1 first-round pick swap. Chaz, I'll start with you. Do you think it was an overpay, first off, by the Magic? Because I think there are some things we do need to talk about with the KCP shot grill master, the KCP stuff, because you were mentioning how bad of a contract it was and that, the Magic wanted to get off of that and they got Desmond Bane. But go ahead. Do you think it was an overpay?
No, I don't think it was an overpay. Considering where those picks are likely to land, on top of that, maybe the one that's a wild card is maybe that Phoenix pick, because they haven't really solidified their roster just yet, even though they're trying to with the Kevin Durant, situation, and who knows how that's going to end up. But no, because it's going to cost you a pick, maybe to get rid of KCP. I think you're taking on about 2 years of money. Cole Anthony, I'm not sure if he has a team option or a player option, but if it's a player option, then you're taking on 2 years of his money as well. Desmond Bane, one of the best shooters in the game, proven, and he happens to fit a position of need. So let's just say it cost you 2 picks to move Cole Anthony and KCP, and it cost you 2 picks and a swap to trade for Desmond Bane. That's good money. Oh, also, last point, when you're a real contender, you could do shit like that. You could risk it. Like you could trade for Porzingis. You could trade for guys who may have some flaws, because you might feel like, yo, I got everything else solidified. If I could get some quality shooting, I'm the real deal. So I think they made a real good move.
Jarrett, with the 4 unprotected first, right? Obviously, some people took way too much, took this tweet. I was like, if Desmond Bane's worth 4 first rounders, right, then Trey Murphy's worth 10. Obviously, I was being sarcastic, but some people caught some of it did. With the Trey Murphy thing, I'm not saying he's being traded, but how many first round picks do you think someone like Trey Murphy would get in this market today? Because I want to hear, because Lito had an interesting tweet as well, because I want to talk about Herb Jones as well, because I don't think Trey's gonna get traded, but there is a possibility that a CJ McCollum or a Herb Jones could get traded. What do you think Trey Murphy or a Herb Jones could go for with first round picks with the way the Magic and the Grizzlies did this trade?
It's really not the picks that has my mind wonder. It's the type of talent that you would get back in return, right? Again, it's a crapshoot when you talk about first round picks, right? You just don't know. And you don't know how it really is a gamble. But you want to know what kind of player you're going to get initially, like who's the other star you're going to potentially trade for, or who's the disgruntled star on the other team that you're going to get in return, if that were to happen. Now, I'm not here to say, we need to trade Trey Murphy. I don't even need to, pitch it out there for people to get it. Cool. What if it's 5 or 6? That necessarily doesn't matter. I mean, we saw a trade with Luka Doncic get traded, and they got shit in return. So it really just depends on the market. If it's 5, 6 first rounders in this case, I don't know. Maybe it's 4. Maybe that's the equivalent. But it's really the top end talent that you're going to get initially. That's the thing I'd look for.
So Lito, you had an interesting tweet earlier today saying something along the lines that Herb Jones is at least worth 2 first-round picks. Do you still believe that after seeing this framework of trades and the players that were received back from the Grizzlies?
For sure. I believe it even more. I mean, we did a show the other day, Grub 5, Chaz, and we talked about Herb Jones' value in the trade, and we were like, it got to be at least one. But shit, stop at one.
Why stop there?
Why stop there? I mean, I think you could definitely get 2. I not to jump too far ahead, but you mentioned my trade tweet, and that was really on a response to your boy yesterday from the Hawks guy who made that mock trade.
Jeez.
And then this to happen today, because his thing was, he said Atlanta fans said he gave up too much, and he said the Pelicans fans said they didn't give up enough. And it's like, no, like if you Kobe Buffkin, bro, like we need a lot more than that. We talking Trey Murphy.
I think Chaz had a great tweet over the weekend. It said something along the lines of like, the teams that you're trading with, like they want good players or they want something good in return as well. Like with these trade proposals, like the teams involved, So actually interesting point there, Grub. So we have talked a lot about CJ McCollum being trade talks, how he has movable contracts. So with and we've talked about this a lot. With the Magic now acquiring Desmond Bane, it's kind of one less team now for CJ McCollum. Do you think that the Orlando Magic, I guess that CJ McCollum is completely out now for the Orlando Magic, what teams now would you see working with CJ McCollum and trying to acquire a guy like that? Because obviously the team was shooting. Orlando was a perfect trade partner, and now that's gone.
I think you got to look, if you're in the East, you're looking at Miami or you're looking at Philadelphia, because both of those need shooting and have contracts that they want to get rid of. So, I think that's, if you're trying to get something similar to the Orlando deal, and I think Chaz brought up the point, is like, what bad deals are you willing to take back? And Memphis was willing to take back that KCP deal. And so they got the picks. So I think the thing with CJ, though, that keeps you from getting too much is that he's an expiring deal. You know what I mean? You're at the position where the other team has to be sure that they're going to get, if they think they're going to be able to keep CJ for multiple years, or if they think they're going to lose him. So I think, Miami is a good target. I think because they have too many players on their roster that are not getting playing time. And so I think that they would rather have some shooting and a veteran, because they just prefer to deal with veterans in the first place. So I think in the East, those are probably 2 targets. I think in the West, I think you're trying to find maybe a team like a Minnesota that may be trying to get rid of some money and needs outside shooting. I think you could look at Utah again. If they're trying to offload a deal and take CJ back as a 1-year deal, they may be interested in that. I think you're trying to, for CJ, I think the problem is, are you trying to give him a place where he wants to go, or are you trying to make your deal? And if it's a combination of the two, you're narrowing your targets. I think Detroit could be another good destination for CJ if they move off of Tim Hardaway Jr. I think Detroit absolutely could use some more shooting on their team. So, I think there are options available. It's just, what are you willing to take back in return? And I think that there are some options as far as young players, but you're probably going to have to take back multiple young players along with that first round pick just to get CJ off the books. But I think the market is still there for him, because a guy who's going to knock down 38 to 40% of his threes, who's going to shoot them with volume, who doesn't necessarily need the ball in his hands, who you can let control your second unit if that's what you want to do. And if you're a championship team, he can be that piece for 1 year and you move on afterwards.
So completely agree with you, Grub. One thing that I think we got to get out of, you're not wrong with thinking this, but you said, will they find a place? Will the Pelicans find a place for him where he wants to go? I'm over that. I'm just over, make the best transaction. You see the Suns right now, right? Kevin Durant lists his potential destinations, whatever it was, Phoenix, or it was San Antonio, Houston, and whatever third team it was, I forget. But I think the Pelicans are at a point now where you have to get the best deal possible instead of doing right by all these players. You did right by Drew, you did right by Anthony Davis, so on and so forth. Just get the best deal possible, Chaz. I can already see you shaking your head with that. Am I wrong on that?
Nah,
bro.
Yeah,
Hold up. Just waiting for Raphael Devin.
I just realized the name.
The suspense is crazy.
Yeah, it was.
Hey, Chris, what's up, man? What's up, Devin? You're muted.
What's up, Justin? What's up, everybody? Happy Father's Day to everybody.
Dog, the jersey in the background.
You got the jersey in the background.
The
Too.
Dickie fit?
Nah, other way.
Oh, you talk. I don't know how that got there. What's going on? Everybody all right?
He's a bad person, Lito. You're right. He's just
Yeah.
just a bad person.
Nobody listening.
Chris, so not a lot of news today regarding baseball. So big trade that happened in basketball today in the NBA. Bane goes to Orlando. Magic give up four unprotected first rounders. KCP. You think they overpaid for that?
Yeah, I mean they overpaid, but I don't think it necessarily signals a loss for them. I get why they did it, but yeah, it was a slight overpay.
Do you think why was it a slight overpay?
You know who didn't overpay?
All right, let's get on to the, you know what we are going to talk about. I do want to talk about Ja. Chaz, if you
Before
could,
you, I'm sorry.
no, I don't
before
want to
you
talk about it
pivot-
right now. I don't want to pivot right now, but Chaz, I want to remind you, Chaz, can you upload the trade proposal you have for Ja today from your Twitter?
Yeah.
If you
And
could,
actually,
but
this
go ahead.
kind of goes along with that. I tweeted this the other day prior to this trade when I spoke about I said you net the highest return from role players from ambitious teams in the offseason, like teams who don't necessarily know that they're bad. Maybe they want to go for it, like a Portland, Chicago, teams like that. They'll give you a couple firsts and shit like that. But or even a contender like, yeah, I'll do it right now. Like who cares? But once the season starts and the Bulls like, well, fuck, I'm the 8th seed. The Bulls not gonna trade their first at that point to
Right.
save their season because now it's over. So I think that's another thing. I think if this Bane deal would not have happened in the season, that's not something that happens in the season. I think it looks very different, and they'll probably revisit it during the offseason. That's why I think if you are going to trade a role player, you might want to do it now because once the season starts, it's all bets
Well, that's
off.
what I wanted to ask you, Chaz, because around the league now, people are saying, "Well, shit, we got role players here, and we just got Desmond Bane for so on and so forth." Do you think? Go ahead? What are you gonna say?
Well, Desmond Bane is an elite role player.
Yes.
So it's a little bit
Yes.
different. Desmond Bane is like.
Would you call him an elite? Hold up.
Yeah.
Hold
Yeah.
up. Okay. I know a lot of resounding yeses. Give me a second. Hold up.
Resounding. Good, check you out.
He's college boy.
Polished. Bane played 58 games in 2022, 42 games in 2023, 2024, and 68 this year. So, I mean,
Justin,
there is some injury concern there. No?
Injury
Yes.
concern, or is he still an elite role player? Does that
Well, you
Yeah,
got to play.
Giants,
You
yeah.
got to play to be a role player.
Justin.
Elite role player.
what does he
Elite
what do you
role
have to do to be a superstar or a star then? Because we got cats that
Whoa,
Justin.
what?
He
What?
played 68 games, 76 games, 58
Where did you see
games
76 games? I
in
don't
the
see
second
76.
season. In the
Oh,
second
bro.
season.
Yeah, he played 70. Okay.
Yeah, but he averaged 18 points in those 76 games. Just he averaged,
What? Hold
he
on.
averaged 18, 2,
Bane's
and
a good,
4.
he's a good player. I like him
Right.
a
You
lot.
know what I'm
Like,
saying? The dude has
role
shot
player?
over 40.
In the East, I think he could be an all-star.
3, 4.
In the East, he could make an all-star team.
Yeah, he's like, look, man, with some of the players that we value on this team, ain't no way in the world Desmond Bane ain't no elite role player. It just ain't possible. This
50,
dude
49
shot over
guy.
40%. Let me see.
He shoots
Dude,
41% from three.
his second lowest shooting average was 39%.
yeah, he's a good player.
He a
He's a
bad
good player.
motherfucker. But the Jazz
Exactly
thing,
what they need.
Yeah, it's like perfect, like really a seamless fit because he's everything KCP was supposed to be, minus the
And he can
defense
defend. He can still, like he can defend. He can handle the
Yeah.
basketball. Like
Do
he's
we
not your
want to
point
talk about his
guard, but he can
playoff?
handle the ball.
Do you want to talk about his playoff performances, or is that?
But he ain't
Is that
gotta
going-
be but he ain't even gotta be a
Orlando's
top
like-
3 player no more.
Yeah,
Honestly.
for real.
I mean,
He was like-
he's Orlando's third best player going in, right? You'd have to say he's their third best.
Maybe.
Let me ask you,
I probably put subs.
Do y'all think this makes the Magic a championship contender in the East?
No.
Yeah.
I think everybody in the East is a championship contender if you make the playoffs. Because look, we just saw that seeding doesn't matter, right? We saw that seeding doesn't matter, especially with the injuries in the NBA the way it's going. So damn, Chris. But I mean, like seeding, and then the West seeding really didn't matter. So you just hope that if you can be hot in the playoffs and you get the right matchup, if you're Orlando, you're looking for a team that can't stop your bigs, right? Because you got two of the best scoring bigs in the league. So if you get the right matchup, yeah, I think Orlando could make it to a conference final. And for them, if you're Orlando and you ain't been to the conference final since Nick Anderson and them,
Shout out Nick Anderson.
Since Dwight Howard, you know what I mean? Since Dwight Howard, it's been at least a decade, right? There was 2013 when they were in the finals, 2013, something like that. So
Him and what was it? Rashard Lewis and Hito Turkoglu. Was that right? That's yeah, Turkoglu.
Hey, Gerb got a point, man. Because yeah, man. If you look at what Indiana is doing, like I'd have never told you they'd be in the finals.
Yeah, I think if you got look, man, if you got a half a chance of getting to the finals and you have a drastic need like they had, you just say fuck it. You bite the, like even with the Celtics, they probably look. Drew Holiday got a 2-year max on all his contracts. I don't give a fuck what it is. By the third year, it's gonna be an overpay. It's gonna be a bad contract. Happened with the Bucks, happened with the Celtics now. But long as you get a ring within them first 2 years, it's well worth it. And they got the ring. So sometimes you just got it costs to be the boss with some of these deals. And I think it's gonna work out for Orlando. I don't know if they're gonna win a championship. I think it's gonna work out. But to your question earlier, the Ja Morant trade proposal I had was if they were blowing the team up and wanted to
can I ask that, Chaz? Like, do you think that they? Because there have been some conflicting reports today of like what Memphis is doing, right? Jaren Jackson Jr.'s name has been mentioned. Ja Morant's name has been mentioned. Do you think this is like a pivot to where like we are going to blow it up here?
No, not me personally. I think they look to flip those assets and go after a higher level wing like a Laurie Markin and something along those lines. Because they still got to, because you still got to pay Ja Morant. You still got to make a decision on Jaren Jackson Jr. Santi is a restricted free agent. Edie just had surgery. Like you really don't have any incentive to blow that team up right now anyway, because but you go like why would you trade everybody right now with that team when they're still going to the playoffs? If at worst you would probably trade Ja Morant. I would think at worst. And I don't think nobody really said that neither. It's all about interpretation. Windhurst said what he would do. Kevin O'Connor said what he would do. Nobody really said that he was looking to do that. Not that they won't, but no one really came out and said, yo, I'm telling you, it's going down. Like, I don't think anyone really said that.
So Kevin O'Connor said, and this is what he said. I mean, these are actual stats, but Ja Morant is overrated by Grizzlies fans, subpar from three, inconsistent defense. This year got to the rim a career low percentage of the time, rarely healthy, hasn't played 75% of games in a year since 2021. He says a top 50 player, good, but not great. Back to you. What's that?
No, I'm laughing because shit, you might not get a good player back.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, what do you think the asking price with that? Like, what do you think the asking price would be for Ja? Because I saw your trade. If you can, Chaz, if you have the trade proposal there,
isn't it? Yeah. So this
DeJounte, Herb, Eves.
Well,
and then,
if they wanted to tank, if Memphis wanted to tank, maybe DeJounte Murray, Herb Jones, Eves Messi, Indiana pick, Bucks pick, and a future Pelicans first. To me, Ja's value has to be a little lower just because he doesn't really play, and he gets hurt in dramatic fashion. This is not the best deal, but I don't think they will want to take on long-term money. You get to, I guess, recoup DeJounte's value if it ever recoups. I don't think it will. You get Herb Jones, who you can attach picks to and flip. I la Mikal Bridges, get even more picks. If you're trading John Morant, it ain't about the next deal. It's about the deal after the deal, in my opinion. Like with Mikal.
Do you think he's giving up too many picks there? We'll go Chris. You think 3 picks, 3 first rounders right there? What is it? A swap? A top 4 protected swap, top 4 protected, and
it's
what is it?
The Indiana pick.
3 is a lot. 3 is a lot. 3 feels like a lot. Like, because I mean, Herb is worth, like, to me, Herb is, if you're taking on Herb, you're taking him because of the value. Like that value for Memphis because of the contracts that they have. Because like you said, Triple J has to get his extension. And so that part of the money, I think that makes Herb more likely to stay because they can't pay a bunch of starters a bunch of money. You know what I mean? That KCP deal. And then you're talking about, Ja's deal as well, that current contract. So you got 3 guys that are going to be making well over combined, well over 110, 120 million, right? Between the 3 of them. So with that, you're trying to get value at those other positions. And Herb Jones at 15 million is a value as a starter. So I think that alone, I think you're down to 2 first. I think you give them 2, one that you have, and then one of those bonus ones from Indiana or Milwaukee. But I'm not giving them more than that, like to me, because you're getting 2 starters. If DeJounte comes back and is just passable as a starter, you can still move him, like you said, for more assets. And then Eves gives you that in case of glass center, because Zach Edey got hurt and Triple J doesn't play the center well. He's much better as a 4 than he is as a 5. So I think Eves has value for them, and he's a first-round pick too. So you're getting first-round pick value from Herb. You're getting first-round pick value from Eves. To give them 3 more, I think feels like a lot.
And I mean, look, I know Ja struggled this year, obviously the injury concerns, but over those last 20 games, Lita, I remember we did a pod and we were talking about like, would you trade for him? And then all of a sudden John Morant went on this crazy run for like hitting game winners and all this other stuff. Over his last 20 games of the season, averaged 28.5 points per game, 7 assists and 4 rebounds. And it's just like the talent's there, right? I don't think I think Chaz's framework, it's right. I think it's a little bit overpaid with the picks. But like,
oh my God, bro.
What's that? With the 3 first rounders?
I say that because the Indiana pick is probably like pick 28 or some shit. Like,
yeah, I know, but like,
let's just say, no. Let's say it's 19. Let's pick 19. The Bucks pick, who knows, right? That's really the wild card. And if you trash in 28, then you did something wrong anyway. But to be real, the Pelicans are a distressed asset team. Like that's what.
Well, this is my thing. This is what I wanted to pitch to Leo. It's like, okay, so you're getting off DeJounte Murray, which is a distressed asset, right? And you're talking about a guy like in Ja Morant, who the talent is there. I mean, obviously he struggles from deep, but like I would love to see him and Zion together. It put fans in the seats.
You got to build a dip. Like it keeps Trey's value high. I'll just say that real quick. Is like if you trade for Ja, then Trey becomes more valuable to you because shooting becomes more important. And then I would say you're reconfiguring the team. Like if you've traded Eves, you're keeping Trey because his value goes up, and then you're drafting shooters. Like you got to have a team with 3 shooters around those dudes because you're trying to run and play defense. That's the team you're trying to build in that case.
Yeah. Jared, what are your thoughts actually on this comment? Now we're talking about the Bucks picks. Hold on, the Bucks picks. I feel like the trade deadline, those picks might have high value.
Yeah, man. It's just we talked about this in the last show. Like you just don't know, right? Like Giannis may change his mind. We don't know. Like you could hold on to him, but if someone offers you something that you couldn't refuse, if you could use one of those picks to get Ja, hey man, use it. Like there's no reason to continue to sit on these picks and something may happen, something may not. Like think about the best deal and use it for that and kind of move on. Grub kind of talked about the picks for Ja. I would like to limit it to 2. You would probably be doing them a favor. Oh, they'll be doing you a favor, taking on DeJounte. Attach a pick to that. Herb's value is at least 2 picks. They're getting Yeeves. Like 3 just is a tad too much, but I don't mind the Indiana pick because it's going to be a later pick anyway. Right. So however you want to sweeten the deal, sweeten it. But if you can use some of those picks to land somebody like Ja Morant, man, do it. And figure out the rest after that.
So Chris, because this now brings up an interesting point with the Bucks picks. If Giannis comes back, he's like, I want to stay with the Bucks. I just want to stay with them. What do you do? Do you hold on to those picks and see how that season goes, or is it just like, all right, we're out of here. We'll get rid of them, or do you think holding on to them, because this is something that David Griffin failed at, right? Is holding on to the picks too late, not getting not using them at their highest values.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think waiting on another situation is the route to go when you are trying to, like, it has to match whatever your goal is. So if this team's goal is to compete for a playoff spot, or if it's to, compete for something a little bit higher than that, then you use the assets as you have them now to the best of your, however you have to. And I don't think that, waiting and hoping on Milwaukee to go, because you don't know exactly what Milwaukee is going to do. For all you know, this is all a poker play right now. I mean, they're maybe they're waiting for a team to throw them an offer that they can't refuse, and they're being nonchalant about it right now. We don't know how exactly this is going to go. But if you're the Pelicans, like, you have to take care of your household. You have to take care of the things that you have to, and if that means moving Milwaukee's, moving these swaps, moving what you have of Milwaukee's inventory to improve your roster in your future, today you do it no matter what, and worry about what happens with the Bucks in Wisconsin down the line. I mean, I would make, if you have moves on the table that are going to improve your roster, impact your roster for the next 2 or 3 years or presently, and that fit your goal, make them.
Chaz, with the Giannis, let me ask this, Chaz. Now we're talking about just trades, because I want to get into the NBA draft thing. Do you think there's a way the Pelicans can get in the Kevin Durant sweepstakes at all? Or they just come, where there would be a third team? You're muted.
You mean it's like a facilitator?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they always, you got a lottery pick, you got the expiring salary. You can. It just depend on, what's happened. I mean, for me, this team, like, if I'm Portland got to trade Anthony Simons, and one of their biggest targets in Orlando just came off the board. If I'm Portland, I'll be like, y'all want CJ back in this first? Both are expiring Monday. Y'all trying to win now. He's a leader. He got to come off the bench now. You start Scoot with Sharp, and you route Grant to wherever. So maybe you reroute Grant to Phoenix some kind of way. But yeah, that's absolutely a lot of ways to get involved. I still think a player like CJ at $30 million, a role players making $20+ million, I still think those are going to be a little more difficult to move than they were historically, especially during the season. That's why if you got somebody making a lot of money, you better try to move them now, because once the season starts, shit gonna get real.
Yeah, Tennessee, no, the Pelicans are not trading for Kevin Durant. I meant more as a facilitator. Yes.
He probably will retire too.
So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna do a mock draft. So we're trying to get the wheel into the stream here. We're gonna do a randomized order of the NBA mock draft. So we'll the first 2 picks will be Cooper Flagg and Dylan Harper. We're gonna start at pick 3. And we're going to have a roundtable discussion of who we select. And then when we get to 7, we're going to talk about that selection with who the Pelicans will take. I am all over the place right now because I'm trying to get this wheel in here. Make sure you smash the like button. Let's do a 40-second commercial. And we're coming right back. Company Burger is the official burger of Pro Pels Talk and Boot Crew Media. Located at 4600 Ferret Street, Company Burger has been locally owned and operated for 11 years. Grind the meat, bake the buns, make the mayo, get the homemade tots. Company Burger uses Creekstone Farms prime beef to create the best burger in the city with milkshakes to go and a full bar. Company Burger is open every day besides Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Can't make it out? No worries, we have you covered. You can order online right now at thecompanyburger.com or check them out on the Toast or Uber Eats app. Company Burger, the official burger of Boot. Lead off first before we start this. Do you think anyone will trade into the second pick? do you think any team will trade in the second pick? Why are you smiling, Chaz?
Nah, because I'm interested in what Lito got to say. This is a very good question.
I mean, it's interesting. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna say yeah. I think somebody could convince themselves to do it.
Do you think it's a team from New Orleans that would do it?
No.
Why?
If I'm not mistaken, didn't somebody say they feel like there was a lot of value in 7? Wasn't that a statement from either Joe or somebody? Did I make that up?
I mean, just in general, I think there's value at 7.
No. But I'm saying,
Oh, you think some of the Pelicans? I'm sure.
I feel like that was a. I feel like that was a cool. I don't know, man. Surprised me. I love to see it. You know me, like I said, we did a show the other day. I said I'd love if I'm a fan of this team. You know, you want to see him be aggressive.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Fair enough. Lala, spin the wheel with the first pick.
Oh, okay.
You're on the clock. Third pick goes to Lito.
Third pick. Wow.
Lito with the third pick.
Philadelphia 76ers.
You are the Philadelphia 76ers with the third pick. Dylan Harper, obviously, and Cooper Flag are off the board.
I'm going to take Trey.
Wow. Trey Johnson at 3.
Yeah.
I like that pick.
Damn, Trey Johnson at 3? Why do I hate that pick?
Why you? Why?
Yeah,
why do you hate that pick?
Yeah, why do you hate that pick, Jess?
Because they got Jared McCain to and they got Tyrese Maxey. What they don't have is shooting. Like, that's not what they got as far as just somebody who could knock down shots.
That's a good point. I just didn't have him going 3. But that's fair. He's a good player. He can shoot the hell out of the basketball. He's climbing, you said, Grub?
Yeah, a lot of people got him top 5 now, for sure.
Yeah, 40%. Yeah, fits well. Pause. Lala, run it again. Charlotte Hornets on the clock. Goes to Chris Connor. At 4, the Charlotte Hornets.
Ew. I just hate that franchise, man. I don't like any option here. I am going to take. I'm gonna take Malawai.
Wow.
And I'm gonna trade. I'm gonna trade Mark Williams.
I did not see you saying that.
That's super valid. Yeah.
Malawak at 4. The trade Mark Williams.
You know who I thought you was gonna say? I really thought you was gonna say VJ.
Why?
So I thought too. I thought it was gonna be.
Supposedly they really like him at 4. If he makes it,
have somebody. You know what? If I was in that situation, I would actually trade, but I don't have anyone to trade with right now. So
yeah,
that's probably what I would have done. But yeah.
All right, 5th pick, the Utah Jazz goes to Jarrett at 5. Jarrett, the Utah Jazz at 5.
Utah Jazz at 5. Utah.
It's tough.
He's gonna say it. Say it.
Yeah, man. It's probably gonna be Con Knipple, right?
Why? Why, Jared? For those who don't know. Yeah, why?
Let's ask Vernon Maxwell. Let's ask him.
Con at 5.
Con at 5, man.
Okay.
What's up, next?
Lala, go ahead. At 6, Washington Wizards. It's going to be Jazz.
Taking Jeremiah Fears.
Yep.
Damn.
This is where it gets fun. Me and Grub. Go ahead, Lala.
We have
Damn,
7.
Fears.
Uh-oh.
Get to Grub. Damn it.
Uh-oh. Big money, no whammies.
At 7. I got no Trey. I got no Con. I got no fears.
Got no fears.
Like, if I'm picking 7 and Ace Bailey's there, I have to give up no assets. I got to take Ace Bailey.
Oh.
Do y'all hate that?
Oh.
Edgecombe is falling through the
That's kind of wild.
Okay, so between Edgecombe and Bailey, who do you think has more upside?
I'm taking Noah at 7.
Wow, you're that. So you've.
I'm taking Noah because it doesn't really matter. Like, again, that's why I'm like, it's the Pelicans, bro. Like, I'm just trying to be as realistic as possible about my situation. It's the Pelicans, and you better go for the craziest home run swing. Like, what's the dude's name? Rafael De La Ghetto? Whoever the dude is y'all talking about earlier. You better go.
I actually like the last. I actually like the other names.
Yeah, you better go for a home run swing all the way, because dog, like you just ain't got it.
You got
right
some
now.
fans on this pod that like Noah.
Dude met his 6'10" barefoot. He like the dude a monster. Like the dude's a monster.
So let's all talk about it. So Grub, you didn't get to pick at 7, but I went with Ace. But there's players like Noah. There's players like Derek Queen still available. There's players like Edgecombe that we talked about. Igor Denham. Would you have
Boyles? I think.
Would you have picked? Would you have picked Bailey at 7 if he's there, or would you have gone a different route?
I think I'm with you. I mean, it's like, and I get both your points. I mean, I understand Chaz his thinking. I mean, like if you have a chance to swing on upside, and Noah Singh has a lot of upside. I think the problem, like this is the problem with dealing with the Pelicans, is like messing up a player's floor, right? We talked about this on the last show about their lack of plans for young players and their inability to develop. And it's like, if you take a dude with super high upside, you got to teach him something. You know what I'm saying? And like, who are you putting that in the hands of? And I think in that case, it kind of feels like Ace at least has a lower chance of failure on his own in that regard. Like the upside might be higher for Noah, but it feels like at the minimum, I don't have to worry that Ace will have to figure things out. Like he understands the NBA game at that much. And I feel like at least I have the transferable skill that I can put on the floor immediately and just say, get some buckets. But I'm worried that in the current structure, that if you take on a dude with super high upside but needs the foundational pieces, that the Pelicans are gonna mess that up badly. And it's like, until I get some evidence that the structure is fixed, then I'm like, don't mess it up. Like, just don't mess up and take the value. And if there's a deal to be made, if there's a trade to be made that you could give somebody Ace Bailey at 7 and get you some more picks, then take that deal. But if he's there at 7, I think you got to take him just for the value, not only to yourself, but to the other teams in the league too. I think if he drops to 7, somebody else is definitely coming calling.
Lito, who'd you going with at 7 there? We'll go Lito, Chris, and Jared.
Who if the board was
just like that at 7?
You saying out of Ace and
anybody. It don't have to be Ace. It could have been anybody available. Who would you have taken at 7?
If the board was how I wanted to be, I'm taking Khan.
No, he's not available there. I'm saying who.
And as we just did it.
As we just did it.
My bad.
As we just did it.
I'm sorry.
Who would you have taken at 7? Khan's gone. He's in Utah.
I'm sorry.
Those damn Mormon. I'm gonna take Noah.
Why?
Because
all of a sudden, just Noah. It's like last week, everyone's just Noah.
I mean, you asked me out of who I don't believe. Okay, so first of all, there's no
about Derek Queen because a couple weeks ago it was Derek Queen.
Yeah,
a couple weeks ago it was Queen.
Yeah, but there's no foundation. I'm gonna just go off Bailey and Noah at this point. There's no foundation for either player. There's nobody for them to learn from either way. The thing, if me and Chaz, we did this. We talked about Noah, and basically, it's like Ivory keeps saying Giannis, right? I'm not saying he Giannis, and I'm not saying I see Giannis, but I'm just saying if you're gonna try to knock a pick out of the park, to me, that's the attempt you make.
Yeah. Can I add on to that too?
Yeah, go ahead, Trent.
Also, I don't give a fuck if he ain't Giannis at all, right? If he can be checked. The dude's 6'10", barefoot. He can run. He's not like a weird 6'10", like his fucking knees touching and shit. He's like a real athlete. The dude already putting on strength. Like, what's the point in howling at all these ugly bitches? At least high at the bad bitch with some potential that could probably be something. Because here's the thing.
It's the analogy.
I check this out. If Ace turned out to be a C+ player or Eshcombe B-, or I'm gonna give Ace some respect. That's a solid B, right? And Noah turned out to be a C+. You're still fucked because you need an A. You need an A no matter what. No matter you need an A to pass this class. If you end up with a B, what's the difference? Like you could have just swung for the potential A, even if you end up with a C. So I mean, if it's just because it's the Pelicans, like in this market, you're not getting a star. Nobody won't come here. Like, you know what I'm saying? The arena trash, coach trash. Nobody ain't called Willie Green yet. So like, it ain't like this bevy of fucking options. Like there's one of these hoes I'm a Mac in here first. It's like, no, she wanted. You better go over there.
Who's next? Chris? Oh, is Jarrett? Chris. As the board is, who are we taking at 7?
Part of me wants to say Edgecombe just based off of value, because I don't see anywhere where he falls where, from all of the different things that I've read, the mock draft, so on and so forth, he's not falling past 4. So at worst, I'm taking calls. But for the Pelicans at that particular time, I'm taking Ace Bailey. You know, look, one thing I've been thinking about with all these different conversations about Ace, and we're talking about like who he learns from, right? Well, you got 2 6'8" wings on your team right now. One, I mean, kind of opposites in regards to what they do well in this league, but they both have had to learn, right? And you could say really on their own in a lot of respects. Hurd was a little bit more ready to go out the gate, but you got Herb, you got Trey. Those might be 2 individuals that would go well for a wing of Ace's potential or Ace's height, ability to learn from right away, I would say. And you know what I mean, look, the talent, I wouldn't mind Noah. I just think if we are talking about talent, and we've all, to the same respect, have had our questions about Ace's motor. We did a whole show about like what else is he gonna be able to do at the next level? What else is he gonna commit himself to? You know, why was he so invisible sometimes with Dylan Harper? All those things are fair, but I can at least envision his ceiling, right? If I could say, all right, he's Rudy Gay. At his best, he's gonna be Rudy Gay. I can visit, like I can see that with my eyes.
Right. That's the same comp I had too. It's funny you say that.
You know, with Noah, he could be a lot of shit.
Yeah.
He could be, I'm almost like him and Carter Bryant are like 2 guys that I'm looking at like, man, like y'all can be a barrage of shit. I have no idea.
God.
I looked at Lito when you said Carter Bryant.
The Carter Bryant film was all time.
I have no idea, but I'm intrigued. I'm just not as intrigued at 7 if Ace Bailey is still on the board.
All right, let's get Jarrett's thoughts on the current board at 7.
No, it's funny. I would. Noah feels like a OKC pick, right? Like inherently to me, that's what it feels like. I'm calling him. Like, hey, what do y'all think about him? Would you like to get up in the draft, right? You got a couple picks, a lottery pick. fuck it. You might as well give me one. Give me two to get into this one. I'll take your, later round pick. And I'd move like that. Try to do something where, you're going to gain something from it, like automatically, because even taking this pick, you don't really know if you're going to gain from it. You don't know if it's going to be a net positive in your aspect. So you might as well try to push this later, get later in the draft, get a pick for another year, do something like that, because you can't develop this young man if you draft him. You can't. You have to know your strengths, and this isn't it.
That was my next question, Jared, about trading back. I wanted to ask, or before I ask y'all that, anybody know his hometown?
Who's that?
France.
Noah's.
Yeah, Orleans.
Orleans, France.
Oh man,
I have not looked at the film yet. By the way, they've done a film breakdown on.
Oh yeah, shout out to Lido Ivy 5.
Excited to actually watch it from Orleans, France. Do y'all worry about his 3-point percentage? He shot 29%.
Nah,
nope,
no.
Ask
me a question again. It doesn't matter.
It's 6'10", but not a 6'10". I'm not worried about that.
Okay.
Because the dude got so much positional versatility. Like he's 6'10" barefoot. If I just say, all right, look, go be Chet.
Chaz, I gotta stop you here. Why do you keep saying 6'10" barefoot?
Because it matters.
No, I said it because he's 6'10" barefoot. When he put on shoes, he gonna be fucking 7 feet tall.
They play with shoes.
No, I'm saying because for some people, that's a psychological threshold.
See,
exactly, girl. Yes.
Yeah,
what do you
like.
mean? What
Ace
is Ace without shoes? What's Ace without shoes?
And
what is he with
6'7".
shoes?
He's like probably 6'8", 6, maybe 6'9". Look, you don't play basketball with the top of your head, right? You play basketball with your arms and your wingspan, your standing reach. But to some people, that's like a mental threshold that they can't break through. Like, we need a 7-footer. We like Eves like 6'10", but he played hunched over, so he like fucking 6'9". So in people's mind, they're like, we need a true 7-footer. And this dude is a monster. So
can I throw some stats at y'all? Y'all want to do some stats, some analysis? #analysis.
Go for it.
Comparing Noah to Cooper, comparing to all the forwards, Cooper, Ace, Carter Bryant, Liam. Noah's got so Cooper averaged 22.5. He averaged 18 or 19 a game. Noah actually has a better field goal percentage by a larger amount of 56%. Steals way better than Cooper Flag. The only thing is that he fouls a lot. Obviously, that's going to be a different. He's going to have to adjust, obviously, from.
He's also playing against croissant makers.
I was just thinking about that. Now I think about it, but his three. I'm just on Tankathon, like they're comparing the players, but I mean, it's also like Cooper Flag. It's not like he's playing against the best talent too. I mean, I know he's playing in Division 1, but like they're like 15 or 16 games where he's playing like Jackson State. He's playing like
And the difference is like Flag has the ball in his hand though. Like I think that's the big difference.
One thing Noah does,
don't put Flag as a point forward.
And I think Noah's also 18, if I'm not mistaken.
He's 18 years old. Yeah. He rebounds. He's right there with Cooper Flag in rebounds. Assists. Obviously, Cooper Flag's a way better playmaker than he is. Blocks won a game. I mean, he's interesting at 7, but this is what I wanted to ask y'all. If this is the board at 7, and you have Ace, Edgecombe, Noah, Queen, those 4 would probably be your top 4. Would y'all just be looking to trade out then if you couldn't get a Fears or couldn't get a Con? Would y'all be more comfortable making that selection at 7, or would y'all rather just move back?
I think you can move back to like 9 or 10 at the very least. Because I think there are teams right behind you that want to go up for a spot to get their guy. If that's the way the board breaks in particular, like if somebody jumps into the top 6 that no one expected to get into that place, then there's going to be teams at 8, 9, 10, 11 that want to go up at least a spot. And if you can move back, get that first rounder and pick up a second rounder in particular, like if you can pick up another second rounder in a draft where you don't have any and there's some quality second round players available, like to me, if you can get an early second round pick and move back, I'd really think that would be a good move.
You gotta assume Atlanta's gonna call you
for the Frenchman,
or you're gonna call Atlanta. No, I
Noah?
mean, they might call for Ace. I mean, I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, probably.
So I wanted to, Well, Chris, I wanted to mention the teams 8 through 11 would be Brooklyn, Toronto, Houston, Portland, Chicago, Atlanta. That's through 13. Out of those
Chicago
5 teams,
needs offense.
I'm about to say you're probably gonna have between what Chicago, Atlanta, Portland, Brooklyn. Would they be looking to move up those 4?
I'm worried
Chicago
about
needs scoring in particular.
Yeah,
Chicago,
I'm worried about Brooklyn stealing my pick. So
I would say
Think it's Brooklyn.
Pick Brooklyn is 8, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, right behind.
What's the pick?
Yeah, what's the pick?
It depends on if I have a hard time seeing Trey Johnson jump like that, but I think fuck it, let's just call it how we did it. I think Brooklyn is getting Noah or Queen.
I can see that.
Lito, why change of opinion from a couple weeks ago where you were like, hey, Derek Queen to New Orleans, and now today you have Noah over Queen?
Man, 7 foot, run like a gazelle, can guard at this point 2 through 5. Like, he increases every situational, like, on the floor. His versatility like puts you in the
he's
best.
no Bruce Brown, because Bruce Brown can play 1 through 5. So
David Griffin would say he plays with a sparkle in his eye.
Go ahead, Lito. I'm sorry. I got you.
Nah, I mean, once I look, this is not a knock on Derek Queen. I still love Derek Queen's game.
Him and Cam Thomas would be dope in Brooklyn, boy. Like, that would be a fun, exciting, like, dog team.
So, man, I've been like just watching a lot of the mocks. I've seen him going to the Wizards like pop up a lot, and it's because of the versatility of the wing defenders that they have. They saying basically they could cover the ground. Him, Sarr, and I forgot who else, Carrington, and then you add not Carrington. What's the other one? The other French kid. Man, he was
Ratatouille. Well, you know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah,
Light skin dude.
No, Balak Kulabi.
Oh, who the fuck is that?
Kulalabi.
Is that like
Yeah,
Kung Lao?
Bilal. Yeah,
Kulabali.
Koulibaly.
Oh, that's Luke Kane partner. Go ahead.
So I'm saying, like their versatility, and you put Queen in that mix where he doesn't have to be like necessarily the defensive anchor. Like it, you know what I'm saying? I think that works for them. In our case, like I don't know, bro. I just really feel like every once in a while you get a chance at a player that you how the fuck did he get so good? Or how did he get there? You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I think you just gotta try to take a swing at it. And I think if you're gonna swing at the fences for the fences of a guy, I think he's the guy to at least try.
No, I thought about this just now. If I'm the Wizards, I probably would, even if he was on the board, I think the Wizards would stay away from Queen. I could be wrong, but I think he's too young to draft to his hometown. Especially, like I was checking on the property today in Baltimore, especially this hometown. So it's real in the field. So I don't know if he I don't think he's old enough yet to bring him home just yet. So I think they would steer clear of him as well.
Another scary proposition I was reading is the Spurs, of course, taking Dillon, and then they're saying they could double back because they're intrigued with Denman.
And that's interesting.
Yeah, that was interesting. And then Chris, you go appreciate this one. Why does Colin Murray Boyles feel like the type of player that Ime will coach?
Because you probably thinking Tyree Eason?
Exactly.
Because that's probably a comp for him at the next level.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this: they better stay away from Colin Murray Boyles because Tyree Eason mom, shout out to her. She already don't like how Ime treating Eason. So, bitch, you go ahead and draft CMB if you want to. You gonna feel the wrath of Miss Eason. Miss Eason ain't playing that shit.
Around.
Yeah, Eason's serious. Don't bring his ass over my team.
So over, I guess, the last week or so, David, we'll start with you about reports saying that the Pelicans would be interested, right? We talked about this midweek in moving up. And we just did this whole mock draft thing, right? And they're saying that they would like Ace Bailey. We all just agreed. I'm not saying that, what we just did is exactly what's going to happen on NBA draft night. But what would the point being if Ace Bailey were to fall 2-7, you have him there. See, I don't believe that Ace will go 1 through 4. I really don't. I think he will be 5 through 7 or so on and so forth. If the Pelicans are looking to move up in the top 3, do you think that pick is Ace Bailey, or do you think it's actually somebody else that they would be targeting? Because if they were to move up 3, we all know if they move up to 2 who they're taking. Do you believe, or do you think it's some bullshit?
Yeah, I just can't see them moving up to 3 to take Bailey. I just can't see it. Not with the temperature of the draft being what it is, that everybody feels like Bailey is falling. Like, I just think he'll be there. And again, we've talked about this so many times, is I don't see the price fitting the outcome. And I'm saying no matter what you're giving up, why are you moving up to get someone unless you're going to make them the centerpiece of your franchise? You know what I'm saying? And that's only 2 guys. That's Dylan Harper and that's Cooper Flagg. You're not making Ace Bailey the face of the Pelicans. No one's doing that. If you bring him in and you think he's going to be no, he's not built like that. Even if he's a good NBA player, even if he's a very good, he doesn't strike you as a franchise player, like the guy you're going to put as the centerpiece of your franchise that you build around. He's like what we talked about. If he becomes an elite role player, a second or third option for a really good team, then that's what you're trying to get. And to me, moving up, it just feels like the Pelicans are trying to get other assets, that they want people to chase 7 for them. And if they can get somebody to buy out at 7, then they'll do that. But to say, I think it's just part of this whole thing with everybody being available. Everybody's not really available. They have players that they don't want to give away, but they certainly want the phone calls and they want to be in the mix because they know they have to make some changes. And the only way to do that is to send the signal that you're open for business. They're not going to sell everything, but they want something. And I just don't think that that's number 3.
So say Chaz is number 2. Say the Pelicans are like, we want Dylan Harper. We want this guy. This is who they're zeroing in on. What would it take to get number 2?
Shit, I want to be rich as Michael Jackson. Joe Jackson's not my father. I don't think they can get. I don't think they got nothing. Like, maybe trade. You start with Trey and 7, and that they picking up the phone, or it's Herb 7 and buku picks. Maybe Herb 7. I ain't gonna say buku. Maybe Herb 7, both Bucks picks. Herb 7, both Bucks picks. I think you got a deal there. But
would you do that? Would you do that?
Yeah, I do it.
Did anybody disagree with that? Herb 7 and Milwaukee picks. Would anyone? You're saying no, Chris?
I just thought something. You might have to also throw a swap in there because for salary purposes, you have to take back Keldon Johnson or something like that. So you may have to throw like a swap or something in there just because they probably still view Keldon Johnson as somewhat of a valued asset. He ain't trash or nothing. So I'll say Herb 7, Indiana, and both Bucks picks.
Chris, you said no.
Mm-mm.
Why's that?
Because I don't know if, while Dylan Harper might be a can't miss prospect, I don't know if I see like can't miss like star necessarily.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
And that's the thing. If I'm giving up asset, I don't want the Pelicans in any capacity unless if there was a chance, and it's not a chance, but if there was a chance that any team was remotely interested in trading the number 1 overall pick, that would be different. But in this case, no. Like I'm not a fan of them trading any assets right now for to move up higher. I want them to gain assets and then make moves. Like that's what I would rather them do. So stay at 7 or move back in the draft or do something like that. Like continue to gain stuff going forward because I think you are far away. Now, if you were trading for someone that you think is going to be the centerpiece of your organization going forward, then maybe. But I don't know if I think that Dylan Harper is that. And because that's the situation, I don't think I would mortgage what you would have to give to move up there. I think a team more so like Brooklyn might make sense to do something like that. I don't think the Pelicans would be.
I'm past moving up to 2 also. I'm kind of past it.
Past moving up to 2. So we're all saying, I mean, Jared, you agree with that too, because I think we've all said like there's no really point in moving up in this draft. There's not a player. Obviously, Cooper's the only one that you would move up for and give up assets and so on and so forth. Well, a lot of us have talked about moving back in the draft, getting a couple first round picks, so on and so forth, gaining more assets, and then going from there. Do you think that's the plan, or do you think just staying 7 is what's going to happen?
Yeah, I don't know what the plan is, but I think the best plan again is to move back, right? To gain as many assets that you possibly can, because you don't know. If you were talking about, let's bring up the Herb thing where we trade him to San Antonio for 2 and future first. Like, will Dylan Harpin be a all-star? Right? That's the question that I'd ask. And if you can't definitively say in 5 to 7 years he'll be an all-star, don't trade Herb for him. Don't make that move. I want to trade Herb Jones if we have to for a star, like somebody will be a star in this league or is a star in this league that you can depend on. Don't do that unless otherwise. That's how I've always felt about Herb. I think he's that good, so you have to get better by trading him, in my opinion. So if you're not, C7, move back, gain multiple picks, and then assess and draft who you need and deem necessary.
I'm kind of putting you on the spot here, Lito, but who would one team you would trade back with? That'd be looking to get into 7. So you have Brooklyn, Toronto. Like, what is Houston doing at 10? What is San Antonio doing with 14? What's OKC doing with 15? Like, what is OKC going to be doing with that 15th pick?
That's the team.
Like, what is...
So I bet you they draft fucking Sober or some shit.
Dang, that's why you gotta find a way to get a second pick.
When you say a second pick, Chaz, in the first round, or second pick just in
the first round? And I got some clips I'll show you when we get a chance.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma City would take a big.
Yeah,
I think OKC is taking a big.
Sober just feel right for them.
Like, Brooklyn's got 8 and 19. Do you
to me,
because I think they're gonna try to move
don't you think that, like, wouldn't you be I don't know how you get 8 and 19, but wouldn't you be happy with that?
Yo, I don't know if they would do that for 7 necessarily, because
if there's a player they want.
But man, I really want Cam Thomas on this team. So if they would be like, I like keep Johnson, keep homie. Cam Thomas, a restricted free agent. Give me Cam Thompson, and we'll work out the sign and trade or what have you, and you can have
Thomas?
7. Cam Thomas. What I said, Thompson.
Thompson.
Cam Thomas. I really want Cam Thomas on the team, though. Like, to me, that's another one of those prospects, i.e. Brunson. I hate to make a smaller scoring guard comparison, but to me, that's another one of those type prospects.
Bro.
What happened, Justin?
Why am I saying that Brooklyn's got 4? This can't be right. I mean, I'm on ESPN. It says Brooklyn's got 8, 19, 25, or 26.
Yeah,
27.
they got. Yeah, that's why
they have 4 first round picks.
Yeah, Justin.
Oh, jeez.
That's why I'm like, yo, what y'all y'all want 7? Like, what y'all want?
That's the team. That's the team. Then that's the team.
But I'm still. I need to know that they're not taking.
I'd ask them for 3 of them things.
But how would they give up 3 first round? Like, I mean, how are you making that work?
It would have to be for a real deal. Like,
you have to give them CJ. Yeah, to give CJs and stuff like that. You could make that work.
You know what I mean? Like, if they're trying to get off
of
a trade, if you wanted to,
if they're trying to get a big, if they want a center and they're trying to get rid of what's your boy name? Why am I forgetting his name right now?
Johnson?
Claxton.
Oh, Nick
like,
Claxton.
If they're trying to get off of Claxton, you might. What if you send them CJ for Claxton and picks in this first round?
You think Houston will give up 10? Like, what are they doing with that?
Well, let me ask you this though.
Why? You know what I mean? Like, in division, I don't know if Houston is giving you the.
Do you think that matters, Grub? Do you think that matters now in division? I know. I know. Like, do you think that actually matters?
It doesn't. You're right. It doesn't. It doesn't. If they trying to get KD though, I mean, that's their thing. Is they trying to get KD?
Shout out to Memphis. Thanks for Trey Murphy. But I wanted to ask, like, if you not getting an additional pick, because it would have to be the teams that have multiple picks this year, right? I.e., Atlanta, Nets, OKC. To me, the one that make the absolute most sense would probably be Atlanta, right? Because Atlanta already scouted your players. And again, Bryson Graham spent the majority of his time scouting probably your pick at 7, who he would like to be your pick at 7. So I think that would be the most obvious target, but you would really have to identify what you wanted and what you looking for. Like if you told me Noah's going to fall to 11, I think Atlanta has 11 or 13 is one of those.
Atlanta's got 13.
Oh
Portland's got 11.
that's an unlucky number for the Pelicans. Shout out to Kyrie Lewis. But if you told me Noah was going to be there at 13, I'd do it. Like, yeah, let's do it.
They got Noah projected at 11.
Yeah, it's a no for me, dog. I'm locked in on my pick at this point. It is Noah at 7.
Brooklyn's interesting. I did not know they had 4 first-round picks.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. All right, Smash like, well, we'll get to fan questions.
4 players. I just can't see it.
No.
See, and that's why I think they're probably the team most likely to move a lot higher than 7. You know, because
package them all up.
Yeah, they probably go to the Jazz pick. So. Yeah, I'm trying to think with this draft. Yeah, you got to consolidate, but I almost would say, why don't you just trade them for future picks? Because in this draft, it's like I kind of would want to be the guy picking at like 25 and 26 if I'm Brooklyn, because it's like low risk. You know what I'm saying? And I don't really got to take on no real salary in the meantime. I don't Claxton contract kind of in.
Next year's draft is better.
But God, they always say that. Always have. They
like
the draft like
a lot better because there's way more height next year.
Yeah.
Is Mikey Williams in the draft next year? Does Mikey Williams still play basketball?
Yeah, he just transferred to somewhere. He ain't in the draft though.
Still playing.
God damn, Mikey.
Still playing. Michael Morgan, appreciate the super chat. I think it will be Derek Queen at 7. 2-part question, Zachary. If someone calls with a similar package as Bane for Trey Murphy, do we take it? Is there any package including Trey for the 2nd overall pick you would take, or is he untradeable? So for Lito, it's a good question. So appreciate you, Zachary. If someone calls with a similar package as Bane for Trey Murphy, so 3 players plus 4 first round unprotected picks, do we take it? Do you take that, Lito?
I need to know who the players are. I would prefer to keep Trey. I need to know who the players are in this deal. Like, it got to be a deal that's just going. I can't. It's going to be a deal where I literally cannot say no. But today I'm saying no.
That's fair. Chris, so the second part, is there any package including Trey for the 2nd overall pick you would take, or is he untradeable?
I won't say that he's untradeable, but I mean I would really have to get over on you because I haven't seen because the thing with Trey is that I still don't know what his ceiling is. Like it's not like we've had multiple seasons of him like bubbling around 21 points per game. We could say, okay, it's here, but like every single year there's something different, right? The passing is better now. The dribbling, the creation. I don't know where that lands for him. And when you're New Orleans, you got to kind of see that play out at least for another couple of years before you start talking about moving him. Like you don't like his value. Maybe even it may grow to be higher than it is today, regardless of what just went by with Bane. So it would be difficult.
So we're gonna stop the comments right now, real quick, and we'll do that after this chat. I just saw your text. So if you have clips, before I do that, we're actually gonna do a special giveaway for Father's Day. We're gonna do
that's dope.
A $50 company burger gift card giveaway. So what you gotta do, we're gonna do a wheel. It's gonna be a randomized wheel. Just what do they gotta do to enter? What do y'all want them? Just
put in 99 cents. And we're gonna donate it to a charity, a Father's Day charity. We're gonna give everybody some razors or something to shave.
99-cent super chat. There you go. 99-cent super chat gets you in the giveaway. Or if you're a member. If you're a member.
Yeah, if you're a member or not.
If you're a member, it's automatic.
Okay, automatic. So if you're a member, comment right now. If you're not a member, 99-cent super chat. We're doing a $50 company giveaway. Chaz, what the clips go ahead.
Yeah, this is from last offseason with the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets, of course, at that time had Dorian Finney-Smith. They had just kind of held the ball a little too long with Royce O'Neal, and they were looking at a Michael deal. Now, mind you, on the evening of the Michael deal, they could have gotten probably 4 Pelicans first, which would have been a lot more valuable than some Knicks first. So even though they got 4 or 5 first, it's like, all right, you're picking 26th, 24th, but you could have got some Pelicans first, which is almost always a lottery pick. So shout out to the Locked On Nets host. This is like a couple of their thoughts on the situation where, like, kind of like Desmond Bane would play role play specifically, it's better to pivot in the offseason or earlier on.
Teams, as you said, yes. But do teams around the league understand the spot that Brooklyn is in? Yes. Right? Like, do we need to come get him right now? Do we need to get you into the first round for Dorian Finney-Smith? Like, no, not really. And if you're a team that believes you can go into contention in this upcoming season, there's also the world where you go, well, we'll see at the trade deadline. Like, when you're that much further down the road and he's a little bit older and things still aren't going well for you and you still, we'll see you then. And when we come to see you then, it'll be even probably worse might not be the right word, but it could be even further away because it's not going to be the 2025 draft because that one's really valuable and deep. Maybe it'll be 26 or 27. It'll be this thing that Brooklyn Nets and the fans have to look at and go, so 2-3 years from now, and not dissimilar to what happened with Kevin Durant at a much higher level, right? We're all sitting here going, oh, well, 3-4 years from now, watch out, because that's when it's really going to come into focus. And I do think that certain teams in the circumstances that the Nets are, it's like, yeah, man, we don't need to help you out, but we feel like you're starting to lose value on this guy, and eventually you'll just give up and you'll take what you can get on him. Not unlike what happened with Royce O'Neal, ultimately. Good quality player, but just got to the point, well, the contract's running out. What do you want to do? Get something or get nothing? Coming up here in a second.
Now that's one clip is followed by 2.
It does feel like it's not hard if you're in a spot in the draft, 8 through, 15, 16 to 20, to sit there and go, okay, but I can see a prospect here that we could take and try to develop or worry about making decisions on down the line. And it's making it harder for the Brooklyn Nets, especially with Dorian Finney-Smith, I think, to force your way in with a 31-year-old veteran 3-and-D wing and say, come on, it's only $15 million over the next 2 years. It's worth it. I think it looks like that's going to be a harder reality, even if Sean Marks is now trying to.
This is the final.
I mean, we hate to be pessimistic here, but we are getting closer, and we have a track record when it comes to Sean Marks of maybe feeling like a few moves waited just a tick too long.
Yep.
And I don't know if we want to go through the whole list here, but we felt like there was times where the thing that eventually happened just happened for a lower price than we originally thought it was going to be, whether it's trading Royce O'Neal, whether it's trading Joe Harris, whether it's getting off Seth Curry. Well, actually, they got nothing for him. Whether, and just like some of these pieces that felt like the time was maybe of the essence in recouping value on some of these things, but a stringent goal of like making the play in or being competitive, or maybe setting too high of a price, possibly got in the way of getting realistic building block value of those guys for those guys going forward. And now I just get a little worried that the Nets might be falling into the same situation here when it comes to Dorian Finney-Smith, when it comes to getting into this draft. It feels like it's almost tomorrow, and I don't know. Hope is waiting.
But the context surrounding that for me specifically is a Herb Jones. Like, I think today we saw what happened with Bane. If the price went up a little bit, let's say it is 2 quality picks right now, right? Or 2 solid first right now. I think by the deadline, you're probably looking at, if you're lucky, maybe one first. Next year, you're looking at some seconds. So if you're the Pelicans and you really trying to reaccumulate some assets and refill this war chest or what have you, you need to do it now. Don't go into this season, motherfucker twist his ankle or something, his shoulder flare up. That's all she wrote. Like now you're looking at a Brandon situation where when you really think about it, bro, you got Kelly Olynyk, Bruce Brown, who's a free agent who may sign for a fucking minimum with Denver potentially, and a Indiana pick that if they play and they healthy is probably going to be bottom 5 in the NBA draft next year. Well, let's say bottom 10 NBA draft next year. It's like you ain't getting nothing, dog. One season really changed everything. Like the entire dynamic changed just in one season. if you're the Pelicans, you got to strike now. Like this offseason, you gotta make a move now. While the Wizards, maybe not the Wizards, but while Chicago, the Kings, teams like that are naive enough to think they got a shot. All we need is Herb Jones. We'll have Herb Jones and Keon Ellis and Zach LaVine. It'll all work out. And it's like, go ahead, give me 2 firsts for them. Let's do it. But I just see the Pelicans kind of. I don't know in this new administration, but before
I think it's a very important.
Part of it is big.
I think that's important, Jarrett, because it's very important. Look, I love Herb Jones, one of my favorite players to ever watch. I just love the way he plays. He's a high IQ guy. He's a great basketball player. But Joe Dumars has no affiliation, no ties to Herb Jones. And so I think some of those people forget that look, I'm not saying he's going to be traded, not traded, whatever it may be, but Jared, if there's a deal there, I have a hard time seeing Joe being like, well, he was a fan favorite, so he doesn't care.
He shouldn't care. Like, not to that degree where it jeopardizes his team's success. Not like David Griffin, right? Like, no, it's a business. He should operate it like that. Like, these are assets, and move on if the asset will bring you back more assets. Like, it's basketball, right? Yeah, we sometimes get attached to players, i.e. Rafael Devers, really good baseball player, gets traded. Yo, that shit happens, man. It does. And as fans, sometimes it sucks. But as the business is, like, one team thought they were going to get better. The other team thinks they're going to get better. And that's the game that you're playing. I wouldn't be truly upset if they trade Herb, but actually got something in return. That's the thing that I worry about. Like, are you going to get enough value back in return to, equate this or so we can be okay with this deal? Not just me specifically, but a fan in general will be okay with you trading what they deem as a really good basketball player.
Bro, well, go ahead.
My thing is this: is like I agree with what Chaz says. Like, you want to make sure that you get the most for your assets when you can, particularly when you're a small market. I agree with what Jared is saying. Like, my thing is, for Joe Dumars is like, well, what is your goal? Like, that's the thing is like, whatever we're talking about is, what is the ultimate goal? Because if your goal is, if you're trying to win,
I'm going to cut you off, David, but they did hang a new banner in the practice facility saying one goal with the Larry O'Brien trophy. So
they stole that from me too.
Well, how long are you putting that goal on the table? Like, what's your timetable? Are you saying it's 3 years away? Are you saying it's 5 years away? Like, are you saying it's next year? Like, what are your intentions? Because if your intent is to go all in, then Herb is not my priority, because I need that guy as far as I'm building a team if I'm trying to go in all in right now. CJ's my priority. DeJounte's my priority if I'm trying to get those contracts. But if you're like, if you are trying to rebuild, if you're trying to stockpile assets and you're moving on and you're building around other people, I think that the thing that they're really looking for is he doesn't want to take away the pieces so he can evaluate Zion. Like, that's just my impression, is that there are certain pieces he doesn't want to move in order to make his full evaluation on Zion. Does he fit what I want to do long term? Because that's the ultimate piece in this whole thing, is what are you doing with Zion for the long term? Are you really going to build around him, or are you just trying to build up his value to get rid of him? Because if you're trying to build around him in the short term, it doesn't make sense to get rid of Herb Jones. If you're talking about the people that fit the best with Zion, it's two people. It's Trey and Herb. They have consistently played their best with him. But if you're saying we're ready to pivot, I'm fine with that too. I'm like, Jared, I'm fine if you're making an intentional pivot. But if you're just getting off of Herb Jones because you want to get assets, then I think you're making a mistake, because there's no guarantee your return is any better and you're not getting a better player. But if you're making the move and you're saying we know exactly what we are and we're building for this, I'm fine with it. Because, like, I do not believe that teams should overvalue their own players. And I think that's something that fans and players do get into at times, is overvaluing the people that you see every day. And sometimes you undervalue the people you see every day. But I think that fans in general overvalue their own players. And yeah, I'm not adverse to moving anybody if it's part of the plan.
Yeah, I was looking at something today. I was responding to a comment, and like, this just hit me. Like, the 49 win game season, right? 49 wins. Herb, Zion, and Brandon all played. I didn't even look at trade, but they all played over 60 plus games, right? And I'm presuming that they played at least 50 plus together, and they were the 8th seed, and they got Swartz got swept in 4. And Messi last season, Messi kind of just caught it straight in this one, but Messi played. He started and played most of last season, and they was ranked 29th in defensive rebounding last season. And that's why I kind of look at it like, because shout out to Cleves, he was just like, you know, if you trade in Herb, you kind of got to trade and Zion. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. There's cubic zirconium, there's moissanite, and there's diamonds, right? Herb is more of a cubic zirconium. Like you can recover from doing that. Once you trade Zion and trade, now you're in a full rebuild. Now you like, all right, let's start looking at these picks, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Whereas, you know, and with Herb, again, to me, best suited on the contender, finishing piece on the contender. You know, I'm just looking at it, it's 2 years, and role players just who make big money, and he ain't gonna play for free. He make big money. It's gonna be hard to move them dudes, man. Like I'd just rather be ahead of it and be wrong, and they be fucking Trey Hendrickson than stick around and be wrong in this Michael Davenport. So I just, you know, I'd rather get ahead of it in this situation.
You still got time. You can still be ahead of it at the trade deadline. I think, like for core type players, I think the one thing for Joe is, like, again, there's a lot of backlash if you trade Herb Jones, and that has to be part of it. There's a PR problem if you trade Herb Jones, so you better get the right return. So if you get a great deal, I think you can kind of defend it early on. But I think it's a lot easier if in January this team is 20-28, you know what I mean? Whatever they are in January. If you talk about they're below 500 and you come back and then say, all right, we get rid of Herb Jones now. I think then people say, yeah, go ahead. Because even if you're getting better, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if the team is looking like it's starting to get better, if they're playing better at that point, I think you could still justify it a lot easier. And I think that, unfortunately, that does play a part in it, is like, if you're Joe Dumars, if you don't hit a home run on a Herb Jones trade, people ain't never going to let that go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's one that people will not let go of. So if you make that deal, it's kind of, it sucks, but it kind of feels like you need to make sure that you've exhausted your possibilities with him.
To add on to Grove's point, that's why I believe he needs to make a move before he makes that move. He needs a cushion.
CJ deal.
Yeah. The CJ deal has to, you know, that's the deal I think he's going to get the most out of, right? Like that way, when they do move her or potentially don't, right? If it does happen, it won't sting as much. It's like, all right, you probably won this one broke even, cool. Like you have a plan, you establish that when you made the trade, moving CJ, then you'll kind of know the plan when you move Herb. Herb just can't be the first move. I think that's what I'm really trying to push. Like that cannot be your first one, because that's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Jared.
That's a good comparison, Chris Brown.
Lito, from Mondog, is Jaren? So we talked about Josh. Jaren Jackson Jr. available then?
I mean, he about to be owed like $345 million, if I'm not mistaken. So I mean, I'm straight personally. I'm good.
Jesus.
His dad played up the street
for free.
Yeah, what's crazy is you still go. It's funny. You be getting them dudes who like they still not comfortable at the spot they're playing. Like Mobley, Jaren Jackson Jr. Like, no, dog, I need you to play center. Like, well, fuck, I'm a power forward. What you want from me? That's why I was like, oh god,
Jaren don't rebound. Like that's the problem with Jaren is he don't rebound.
Yeah.
Like,
oh look, shout out Ryan.
Hey,
Jaren don't grab no boards.
Hey,
Miles Turner had 2 rebounds last night.
No,
that's so crazy to me.
300.
That's why he's on the trade deadline.
How you ask for $350 million? Like that's your job. You're like, nah, I'm not doing it.
Again, that's why. Like, look again, bro. Love Herb Jones as a player. Pelicans was dead, like damn near dead last in offense in the play. The motherfuckers couldn't crack 100 points for nothing.
Whoa, Chaz. Whoa,
That
whoa.
wasn't his
You
fault,
said
though,
100.
man. I'm
You
sorry,
said
that's
100.
not his
fault.
They couldn't
Right,
crack
look,
it's not his
90.
fault.
Well, they couldn't crack
Not
90.
his
Now
fault.
look, it ain't his fault, but he not absolved. So because it's like, well, shit. But,
Nobody was absolved. They all played like trash.
but that's the thing. If nobody's absolved, then he got some fault. That's so that's
Still
why
think
I'm
you be
just like,
undervaluing Herb, man. I think you undervalue Herb. I don't think it's you have to overvalue, but I think it just feels like you undervalue Herb.
hey, look, bro, they've won 2 playoff, like they got swept, like it was 4 games and they got swept in 2 of them.
They're 2-8.
So
2-8
it
in
was
the last.
it was like,
Yeah, 2-8.
like damn near dead last. So of course it's not his fault, but I do think you need like more. You just need more offense. Like, I hate to bring up this comparison again, but Caruso, this is the second 20-point game last night. 20 points, 5 steals, couple blocks, and he should have played a lot more. They messed up on Wallace in the game. So you need guys who could at least like have that impact offensively when it's necessary. Like, and I just can't see her doing it under Willie Green, especially. If Willie Green wasn't here, I probably feel a lot different.
Here's my issue with this this conversation, and I think both of you guys make good points. And I mean, there's going to be a day where there is going to make the best sense to trade Herb Jones. I mean, maybe that day's tomorrow, but this all goes back to Zion Williamson, because it makes it hard, Chaz, for me to even compare Herb and Caruso, because Caruso's out there and his best player is available. SGA is there in that playoff, like he's there, he's playing with him, right? So we're envisioning these things like even when we go back to the playoffs, right?
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't played any playoff games with Zion Williamson. So I look,
yeah,
I think that there's clearly not a, we may have seen the best of Herb Jones. The ceiling, I mean, he's 26, 27 now. It's not like, he's not getting any younger, and he's probably not going to become that much better as a basketball player, 100%. But when it comes to role players, any of these guys right now, no matter who it is, you take out Herb Jones and you add someone else, whoever it is. If we don't know, until the Pelicans have a foundation, until their number one player, whoever it is on this roster, is healthy and is available, the one you are building this whole thing around, it makes it difficult to fully and truthfully evaluate everybody else, because you're trying to evaluate through absences, and it makes it really tricky. It doesn't mean you still shouldn't trade Herb Jones right now if the value is right. You should 100% ultimately do it. I just don't know when it comes to role players if you really have an opportunity to grade them right or grade them fairly. You look at Bane, right?
Mm-hmm.
Orlando traded for 2 different Desmond Banes, because there's a Desmond Bane without Ja Morant.
Oh, I thought you meant 2 players. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, but they traded for 2 different Desmond Banes. They traded for the Desmond Bane without Ja Morant, the guy who can be more of a facilitator, handle the basketball in his hand, and then they traded for the Desmond Bane that we've seen in the playoffs, that we've seen when the team is fully healthy. It's 2 different guys, So the problem with the Pelicans is we don't get a chance to see any of these guys fully available with the number 1 overall player. It fucks up multiple conversations.
I really think, because I remember this being the Brandon, like soon as it was Charlotte, they got the number 2 pick. I was like, lottery night. I'm like, I'm going Charlotte. Like it's no question, because it's fucked up, but man, contracts are a real thing, and as time runs out. And
contracts are a real thing.
And and even by the time you say, all right, well, look, I've seen him with Zion enough. I seen Brandon Zion enough. It don't really work. Or I say it does work, but it's not cost effective anymore, because you're probably not paying the tax also. Like Caruso was making $8 million up until this year. And he was with the Bulls. He was doing this thing, won a ring with the Lakers. Like, he was just the same coveted guy, 2-time all defense guy, the same coveted guy his entire tenure, even at his age. But it's like he just got his payday. So if Caruso is a standard and you got to give Herb an extension, now Herb making $20 million or $21 million. He's younger than Caruso, so he probably make 20. And it's like, well, damn, wait a minute. Can I really pay a motherfucker $20 million who they gonna leave on the floor defensively? Like, and it ain't like he just shutting shit down in the playoffs neither, because Lou Dort just had 3 points? And I think Lou Dort's a better on-ball defender. He's a dirtier player, but on-ball defender than Herb. And Lou Dort can shoot. So if his like equal or a little bit better than him getting played off the floor, like for real played off the floor, I'm just looking at where the situation is now, and this is like, man, you just don't got time. You just got to be wrong about him, I think, and might move now and say, damn, I traded Jimmy Graham too early. Like, you just got to bite the bullet sometimes.
We'll go one more comment and then we'll do giveaway. So make sure you smash the like button. Jared, I'll give you Dort, Isaiah Joe, 16 and 24 for Herb Jones and 7. Are you doing it?
I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
I don't like Dort's contract, but I would do that.
I'll give you Dort, Isaiah Joe.
I'm doing that.
16-24 for Herb in the 7.
Joe can play both guard positions. You know he can shoot 40% from 3. I'm getting 2 first-round picks, and I'm getting Dort as well, who, again, like we talk about value, I can move Dort if I need to move Dort. But at the same time, if we talk about defensively, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. I think it's the extra value that you're trying to get. You're still getting a little bit younger. I think Dort is a little bit younger than Herb, right? So I mean, to me, it's you're not going forward as far as like you're not making a jump immediately, but them 2 picks could be real value.
It's 15. I don't know who I'm taking at 15 though. That's why my nerves bad. But go ahead, Five.
No, you're good. I'll be honest. Again, the rules were I'm using Herb to get like a really good player. Like I have to know that. That's just my rule. So like Rosa Parks told that white man, fuck no, I'm not doing this. Like no, I'm not. It's just not happening.
You curious?
How do you get? But what I don't understand here.
Oh, Dort make too much money, so you got.
How do you get 16 and 24?
I think you're giving them too much value. Honestly,
Memphis is at 16. You mean 15 and 24?
Yeah, he mean 15.
15 and 24. 15 and 24.
But even then, the money don't work. So
it's always like
that doesn't work. Because what's Dort's deal? 30 million? Was Dort making 30?
Ooh. Is he making 30? I know he's making a lot. Probably making too much. But he gets you to the finals, though. He
not getting. Man, no, Chaz, I cannot let you live right there, dog. Dort is not getting you to the finals, dog.
No, bro, I'm like, Lou Dort is probably, I ain't gonna say he's some feared defender, but dog, like, look, and we just had this talk about Caruso the other day. Dog. It's like, dog, these dudes, when I knew Caruso was different, because I used to have Caruso and Herb on the same level too. Look, Justin, what I sent you last night, Caruso putting up fucking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Wilt Chamberlain, true shooting percentages, right? Motherfucker shooting like 50% from 3, and he only taking like 6, 7, 8, 9 shots a game. This motherfucker brought the ball up against McConnell, which is extremely difficult. Passed it off, went to the left wing, knocked down the 3. I'm like, nah, this is a different kind of guy. Do I think Herb could do that? Probably, if it wasn't for Willie Green, probably. But it's still just like, dog, these dudes are just different. Like some of these dudes is just different.
Bro, Caruso's only averaged double figures once in his career.
But he's averaging 15 in the finals right now. I'm talking about just today.
Yeah, but he got to the finals.
You mean
that's not fair.
No, but bro. All right. Well, I think he averaged double figures. And Caruso is like a second-round role player guy, but he's all defense twice, of course. He never takes a lot of shots neither. Herb is not the most efficient guy, honestly, from the field also. No, look at no, he's a sub 50% field goal shooter. I looked it up, like his field goal percentage. But that's neither here nor there because he don't take a lot of shots anyway. So it really don't matter as much. But to me, Caruso, again, 1 through 5 defender. We saw it against Minnesota. You saw it last night. It's like, if the dude just better, he's just better. Like sometimes
I've seen Herb guard Joker. Like I've seen it with my eyes.
Well, let me say this. I'll say, to be fair, I'll just say the playoffs. Because in regular season, I do think Herb's one of the better defenders. I just think if he was a little stronger, I think he could do more. But
Herb's true shooting percentage is 589. Caruso's is 565.
No, I'm talking about field goal percentage, like his season.
But nobody counts field goal percentage anymore.
They
Effective
don't?
field goal percentage and true shooting percentage are far more indicative.
I guess. I mean, we all counted when Zion's field goal percentage went down. We was like, well, he got his lowest field. This motherfucker can't drop no more. He can't get to the rim. Like, I just think he's better. And he's proven to be better right now. Like, he got 2 20-plus point games in the finals on incredible efficiency, and he shoots over 70% on true shooting percentage.
He plays on a better team. He plays on a better team, better coach, better environment.
I guess.
No, all right. Again, I've said this before. Caruso, let's just say OKC, right? OKC in general. They have like a PR team, right? Where they have mastered in establishing how they want to play at all costs. They're more physical than anybody in the league, and they don't get foul calls, right?
Yeah.
They get to the line probably top 5 in the league with Shea. Like, this is all a part of their brand. Caruso knows he's only playing like 20 to 25 minutes. He don't give a fuck if he gets 6 fouls. He knows it.
But is he fouling out though?
No, because his reputation precedes him. He's not going to get those calls. Look in the last 5 minutes. Dort doesn't even get a lot of foul calls. Like, against him.
You know that Caruso, like not right now, but he like Herb's first team as well. But Caruso was also a 2-time All-NBA defender prior to coming to OKC.
Because he played with LeBron. And
he's only been all defense twice in his career. Like, so we talking about one more than Herb, and he's played 3 more years than Herb.
And he had Anthony Davis on his team.
No, but 5. He also played in Chicago.
Did he get an all-defensive team then?
Yes.
He got 1 in Chicago, 1 in LA, but that's I'm sorry, there's
no
number where Caruso is better than you. It's not a single number. Herb's PER is higher. Herb's effective field goal percentage is higher. His true shooting percentage, his on-offs are better. Like, Herb's value is higher than Caruso.
No, I'm saying
Caruso ain't got paid with $8 billion.
No, we're talking
That's why
about
they keep moving him.
But he was the most one of the most sought after defensive players, period. That's why when they only traded Giddey for him, I'm really perplexed. When they only traded Giddey for him, people was like, what the fuck happened? Like, the dude, again, he scored, it's over 70% true shooting percentage in 2 wins. But he's also not shooting a lot though. But he's also not shooting. Say again?
Russo's career 3-point percentage.
No, Herb. I'm talking about
Herb's 36.
See,
and you talking about Herb's played 7 playoff games, 8 playoff games? I don't even think he played every game during his rookie year. He played 7 playoff games with no Zion, and we talking about
7 playoff games. Herb, he played
10, whatever.
Wait, and we just said we count the playing too. But let's just say it was. What was the first one? 6. So 6 and 10.
So all of his playoff games have been without his best player. Honestly.
But see, again, that's the thing, though. It can't, because this is the same Brandon situation. It's never gonna be the perfect situation for you to succeed. You gotta take the next step, or you just might not. That just might not be the thing. But either way, I'm saying, like, there's players in the playoffs as the stakes get higher that become more unplayable, i.e. Dyson, i.e. Luke Dort. Like, again, even Luke Dort, as trash as he's been in the finals, this motherfucker got in the game, had the audacity to shoot the ball, got to the line, missed one of the free throws. Even Caruso
was good in the other rounds. Like, if they don't get to the finals, if Dort doesn't play well in the previous rounds,
right? I agree with you. That's what I said. I'm saying, but again, my point is, as the stakes get higher, once it goes from the regular season to the playoffs, Herb becomes less playable. Once it goes to the different rounds, he becomes a little less playable. Like, you see it with similar players across the league. That's why I kind of keep asking, like, where are the Rudy Gobert type players? Where are, like, those particular type guys? Because those guys who only defend, Mitchell Robinson, I thought he did a solid job, but the guys who only defend, they get played like off the court a lot of the times. And I think that's what you're seeing in today's NBA. That's why I'm kind of
I
like,
think
well,
you are mischaracter. Like I think you go off the 20 games that Herb played last year as his shooting.
no.
Was.
I'm not going with that. I'm saying like watching
That's
the
what you be
playoffs.
bringing up more than not. You can talk about Herb's 20 games this year, and you be like, how bad he shot this
No.
year.
I mean,
But
this
his
year,
shooting kept going up his first 3 years. And we talk about a dude in that full season when he makes first team All-NBA, he's shooting 50, 40, 90.
Yeah, I can't really judge his shooting this year because of the shoulder injury. So I don't know. Now, do I think he'll shoot 40 again? No, but he don't have to. But what I'm saying is, watching him in the playoffs, watching how teams defend him, no one guards him. No one guards Dyson, who's a better on-ball defender. So especially if Willie Green is going to be the coach, which he is, what's the point of going through this exercise again when we know?
The one last thing that I get to say is like you keep doing this better on-ball defender, but that's like comparing a shutdown corner with Ed Reed. They are different. Herb is Ed Reed. He is not Deion Sanders, and like you got to stop doing that. That one drives me.
Well, like, I think he might be. I think he might be generally a better defender. I think generally, and he's currently cheaper. He's not going to be.
Like you not know Herb's best value is not playing one guy.
Yeah.
He's Ed Reed. Like that's what he does. He takes care of everybody's mistakes. Caruso can't do that.
No, not Caruso. I said Dyson.
Dyson can't do that either. Dyson is a better on-ball defender than Herb. I'll give you that. You ain't gonna get no second thoughts for me on that. But I just don't think that Herb. I think Herb is again. I'm not comparing a free safety to a shutdown corner.
I wonder if, like, again, I think looking in the playoffs again, like with the Lou Dort's advance, like helping him advance in the way he did in multiple years now. I do think that in the playoff that does become more valuable because even Nembhard, look how Nembhard giving shade of blues, but when Nembhard had 10 points, so once the real dudes show up, like Nembhard, I need you to get about 15, 16. Can you do that? Like, yeah, but it's gonna come at it's gonna come at the expense of my defense a little bit, but I could probably do that. So
his game isn't predicated on that though, right? Like their offense is predicated on Hallie doing a lot of the dribbling, right? Getting into the offense, he's shooting a lot of corner threes. It's not
Yeah, he don't have to score. He can though. Like I've seen him. He can do his thing, but it's like, do you really want him taking 19 shots when he's also locking up the best defender? So it comes at an expense of certain things, I would imagine.
All right, that was
nasty word. That's nasty.
All-time
That's
segment.
a nasty word right there. That's a terrorist activity.
Y'all got a pause button?
Yeah, that's been there for a minute.
Dang, I didn't even know that.
I ain't never seen that before.
I ain't never seen that.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with I can't do it. We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live. And thing sucks. In 5, 4, 3. That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching.
Justin, you gotta recreate that, bro.
Bill was a bad motherfucker, boy.
Hey, that was incredible content between all three. That was great. So
Really
we'll do the giveaway. Good time to do the giveaway. Appreciate all the members, all the super chats. Smash the like button. We're gonna do a $50 giveaway to Company Burger. Before we do that, reminder: Grub goes live at 6 p.m. on Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. Lido, Jarrett, and Chris have great film breakdowns of. God, how many prospects have y'all done now? 20? Yeah, we have 15, 20. It's truly impressive. Something that you're not gonna find anywhere else. This fucking thing sucked. The way he goes, this thing fucking sucks, and then just goes, and that's it. Like, I don't know how you do that. All right, Lala, let's happy Father's Day once again. We're gonna spin the wheel. Spin the wheel for a $50 Company Burger gift card.
Damn. Cole can't even make the getaway.
Man, cocaine. Man, damn, Cole.
I would have.
Shout out the trend.
Shout out the trend.
Yeah, shout out.
I'm shout out to Lala.
This is actually me. This is Lito's beat.
Yeah, man, that's my dog.
Okay.
This is Lito's beat right here.
Lito's
Trend.
Nasty word. That's nasty. That's a nasty word right there. That's a terrorist activity.
Shout out to Trent. I see you with the 199. Congratulations to your happy Father's
Shout
Day.
out Trent. Make sure to I guess DM me. We'll get that Company Burger gift card too. So appreciate everybody. Pulled up. Make sure you smash the like button. Once again, we'll be live Wednesday. When's the draft?
Yo,
June
this,
27th?
yo, hold on real quick. Alan, I know you keep saying that. What does that mean? I never heard that expression.
What is it?
A glizzy on offense. I just never heard that expression. What that mean?
Yeah, he got me that.
What's the context?
Yeah, like how we get
what's the
that?
how you use that in the
Like
sentence?
who what? Yeah, well, wait though. Who's the glizzy on offense? Maybe we can figure it out.
He said
Who's
Trey. He talking about
Glizzy
Trey.
on offense.
Is a glizzy
Oh,
on
How we
offense.
get there? How we get there?
I have no idea. I'm kind of like intrigued by this because I'm like, what that mean? Like, like what? You
Hot
like,
dog
well,
offense?
yeah, I ain't never heard that one, and I'm like, I'm pretty like interested in language. Like,
He said he tapped in.
That's crazy.
yeah, all right, word.
Hey, somebody clear that terrorist activity because that's what that was. That's what that is.
I got it.
Nasty word. That's nasty. That's a nasty word right there. That's a terrorist activity.
That's fire, bro. That's crazy, bro.
You
try to-
still have this
Yo, who
fucking
put this?
picture?
Come on, son. Who the fuck did this? Who did
No
that,
way,
yo?
bro.
Come on, yo.
You try to catch up and cut the mustard.
What we need to do now is get focused and stop pointing fingers. You're a problem. You're a real problem.
Just get this fucking thing off. How do we get this picture off?
Oh,
That's
he's
the
my
like
bad. My bad.
I'll
He
see
said
y'all later.
Stubborn.
Grizzly.
Wow.
My bad. He said Grizzly. That's my fault. Man, Grizzly with two E's. I ain't know what the fuck he was talking about. He said Grizzly. That's my bad. Okay,
Smash
I
like
get it.
button. See y'all later.
How do y'all hate this